What would you do if every doctor you met with told you that there was nothing that could be done about your symptom, your disease, whatever it is that you're struggling with? That is the case with most of the people who find me on this YouTube channel. They too are stuck in despair, not sure if their life will continue because of the death sentence that they've been given. And all of these people have one thing in common. They come to me after having tried everything. Most of them have tried everything in terms of medicines, treatments, diets, you name it. Then they get into that place of despair, discomfort, real fear, and they find meditation. Then they start meditating, filled with hope, thinking that perhaps there's something that they can do. Perhaps there is a solution. The meditation helps them because it teaches you how to calm down the mind. Meditation proves to you that there is a different way of living, that you can change the way you feel, and that you could actually change your body through the power of the mind. Isn't it crazy? That's what most people don't believe in. And that's why meditation is such a beautiful tool, because it proves that to you. And yet, meditation usually doesn't get you all the way, because meditation teaches you how to calm down the mind. But if your mind hasn't been changed, if your mind hasn't been healed, then the body cannot heal either, because all the instructions come from the mind, not the body or the environment. We have been so conditioned into believing that we are this body that you can feel and that you can see and that you can smell at times. But there's more to that story. And when you learn to make that switch from thinking that you are a body that is really vulnerable, that gets sick and then dies, to seeing yourself as a mind that has way more power than you think, then that's where the healing begins. During the last 10 months, I've worked with people from 18 different countries. I've seen it all. I work with people who have cancer, rheumatism, skin problems, relationship issues, anxiety, sleeping issues. It's a mix of all sorts of problems and health issues and challenges that cannot be solved according to traditional medicine or according to you. Because even if you don't know it, you are the problem, not the disease or the symptom. You are the creator of your own reality. What does that mean? Well, if you are the creator of your own reality, then surely you have something to do with what you experience, including your body and its current state. Mind you, I said current state. It means that it is current, now, as in it can change, and it will change if you use your mind differently. The healings that take place inside my mind training coaching group are nothing short of miraculous. You wouldn't believe the stuff that happens, and it happens only through the power of the mind. The beauty of the work that we do is that you don't have to tell a soul about what you are doing. The only thing you have to do is change your mind. And that sounds really easy when I say it like this, but in practice it's a bit harder because you have been taught to view yourself and the rest of the world in a certain way from the day that you were born. And now things are complicated. Maybe you're in pain, maybe you are in despair. Something is going on and you're challenged in a way that you've never been challenged before, which is when you start asking different questions. Why is this happening? What am I doing wrong? What am I missing? It must be hereditary. Something is up and I don't know what to do about it. That's on all of my clients' minds. And the problem is that if you are looking for the solution outside yourself, if you look at the body, looking at what it is displaying, then you will get stuck in that, because there is no cohesive explanation to what your body is doing. If there was one, then we wouldn't have any diseases in this world, because there would be a formula that you could follow and then the disease would disappear. But that doesn't work. That's why you are watching this video. You gotta do something different. And you gotta learn how to use the power of your mind, because that is the solution every single time. So my job is mostly to show my students that they have to forget everything they think they know, because most of those things that they know are fear-based. They are things that they learned from an expert or society because they had a problem that needed to be fixed. And many of the things that they do not feel so good. They do them because they need to, because they can't find a way out of their current situation. And then they do something and maybe it works a little bit, or maybe it doesn't work at all, but you still keep doing it because you don't have any other solution. That's exactly what happened with one of my clients who joined me 10 months ago when I started Helpings. She was in severe pain. On every video call, she would sit and touch her jaw because she was in so much pain. She had brain fog. She hadn't worked out for 10 years. She was reacting to all sorts of things. Her skin was reacting. Her body was reacting. She spent an entire year living away from her family because she had such violent reactions to all the people in her life, thinking that maybe that is just the way she is. Maybe she's the kind of person who will need to live in the woods for the rest of her life so that she wouldn't react to the people and the places and the things surrounding her. And then she got to work. She started applying the formula that we have inside Helpings. She did everything to a T. Every week she showed up and she told the group about what she was doing. Here's the annoying part. Nothing happened. She kept growing her belief because she kept saying that she knows this to be true. But on the physical side, she was not seeing much evidence of any change. She was still in pain on every call. She was still having brain fog. She was still working part-time as a nurse because she didn't have energy to do any more than that. She still struggled getting out of bed. She still felt dizzy. She had all sorts of things going on with her body, and yet she stuck with the program. And then she went on holiday to Budapest. She had one of those experiences that you can't explain. Call it a meeting with the divine. And 5 minutes later, she sat down on a fountain with her husband, and 50% of her pain was gone. Just like that. I don't know how to explain these things. I do not know how they occur. It's similar to the coherence healings that happen at Dr. Joe Dispenza's events. You have a person who is lying on the floor with 4 or 5 or 6 people who are lovingly placing their attention on this person, and sometimes that person in the group, in the middle of the group, is healed, or at least experiences some sort of relief after that healing. Something similar goes on inside my group. When you show willingness, when you show up every single week, following the steps, doing what you're told, and sharing your experience through which you help the entire group that is there with you, then something magical happens. It's as if all the collective love that is out there is shining down on you, and then something is released. That pain you've had for 10 years just disappears. Something happens, and in a split second, you're a whole different person. Then a month passes by, and my client starts exercising for the first time in 10 years. She goes from being insecure, thinking that she's stupid, that she's slow, and that she's incoherent, to being laser focused, really funny, extremely loving, and healing step by step as she is unraveling what is inside her mind, and most importantly, as she finds the triggers that are constantly triggering her into that old behavior that does not serve her anymore, and that is the reason why she got sick in the first place. I tell all my students that the challenge they have is their biggest blessing. It shows them how to wake up. It forces them to wake up. Because as long as you are figuratively asleep, you won't do anything. You will just feel like a victim, like the world is just happening to you, and like you are extremely vulnerable and unlucky. Until you see what your mind is doing, and when you see that pattern, then your life will be forever changed. And as you get that first piece of evidence, when you see the result of what you are doing as you're changing your mind, then you will never ever doubt your own ability to cause a miracle. You cannot make things happen. That is not your job. Your job is to show up and be willing to change. And when you show willingness, then whatever is out there will do its part. But you cannot know when that is. And if you keep expecting it with desperation, then you're going to have a rough time. But if you learn to know, to really truly feel like you are exactly on track and that you are moving in the right direction, then rest assured you will get the evidence of it. Nothing brings me more joy than to witness these miraculous experiences that no one can explain, but that everyone can witness. Every time somebody doubts this process, I tell them the same thing. Go and read last week's post inside our group. You cannot come back and tell me that you don't believe in this stuff after you read the experiences that every single member has every single week. It is mind-blowing when you really get into this work and you see how much you can do, how much power you have when you previously felt so powerless, like you were literally a puppet on a string. And then you take your power back, sitting on your own couch, sitting in a comfortable chair, wrapped in a warm blanket, doing this work without having to go anywhere, without even having to close your eyes or meditate, and simply learning to focus in a different way. That is the kind of work that we do. And when you do that in a group, you get so much more out of it. The group setting is super comfortable and safe. It's mostly me talking, and then the members ask me questions, which I answer and invite people to chime in and tell me what they are thinking about the subject. So it turns into a very interactive thing. But it's not like I put people on the spot and ask them questions and quiz them. No, it's just me showing up with a group of people present with me as I do that. And when you do that consistently, and when you really, really, really make the decision to change and follow through on that promise, then you will be healed. It doesn't happen on the timeline that you expect it to happen, because we are very illogical and we demand a lot as humans. You think that if you've been sick for 20 years, then surely you will heal in a month or two, which is a load of crap. You know how long I have been doing this work. I've been at this since 2019 actively, and before that I spent another 10-15 years trying to heal. So you can't expect to change your mind in a couple of months. But what if you took a year out of your life and spent that year actively changing everything that goes on inside your mind? I cannot promise you that you would heal completely if that is your challenge, but I can promise you that you will become really happy, because that is the case with every member inside my group who does this work actively, following the instructions. The first thing that happens is that they start sleeping. The second thing that happens is that they start understanding why they were so sick. And the third thing that happens is that they get evidence of that major thing being healed slowly but surely. And when that happens, you will forget about time. You don't even care about that anymore, because you know that if you keep doing what you are doing consistently, then you will get there eventually. And time is an illusion anyway. So why would you focus on that of all things when you can focus on all the small things that are going right and all the wins that other people are experiencing, which shows you that this formula works. And if it works for them, for any weird thing that they experience, then surely it will work for your thing, which you also perceive as weird or incurable or hopeless. And that is just another story and just another limiting belief. So if you are struggling with something, then you are welcome to join my group Helpings. I'll leave my email down below. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask, then please leave them down below and I shall answer them with great delight. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like it if it has been helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I shall see you in the next video. Sending so much love as always.